Hello there. How's everybody doing today? Us? We're doing fucking fantastic-ish. We are about to cover a Steven Seagal movie, finally. Now, I happen to be a big Steven Seagal fan, at least of his earlier works, and we're jumping into one of his earlier works. Tyler, to my knowledge, never really paid attention or cared about Steven Seagal. Rodney's just never really liked him, whether that's just biased hate or he's jumped on the bandwagon of a lot of people that hate him, and for pretty good reason. But back in the day, he did have some bangers of this genre. There's a reason why he was a big name. And I'm ready to dive into this one. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Plot, Tyler.
Let's see if y'all would like this plot. Left for dead with his wife killed in their house, LA detective Mason Storm will have to make a quick recovery, expose those behind the murder, and take revenge.
Yeah, that's my kind of movie, out the gates. I love that kind of shit. And then you add in the fact that he's like this badass fighter dude, too.
Oh, yeah.
Even better. Ponytail madness all over the place.
The year this came out is 1990. It is an hour and 36 minutes. The budget, anyone want to take a guess?
30 million.
No.
30 million.
I'm going to say 12 million. I don't think you can
Very close. 10 million. Gross 47.5 million.
I've been so close on everything.
Oh, yeah. Greatness. Yeah, I figured as much. A lot of these older slasher movies are like these action movies where you didn't need as many explosions because they could just do it with their natural martial arts skill and shit like that. And charisma, you didn't need as much. So I can definitely believe that. All right. Did you do everything? Budget? Yep. Movie year? Yep.
So this movie, you wouldn't believe it, Academy Award, almost all of them. They didn't get nominated for any of them. No awards, no nothing.
Again, no surprise, just like the Van
Not
Damme
even the
movies.
Razzies.
Yeah, this, again, it's that shit where it's not going to win any awards, but you have that one uncle that's like, bro, have you seen the new Steven Seagal? If you're around in the 90s, it just was absolutely jacked off of this shit, dude. Yeah, they were definitely fun times, older action movies, and I think they've aged like even more well in a weird way, where like people love to go back and watch them, but Seagal gets none of the love because of the character that he became. Okay, yeah, I guess you saw a note you made and you forgot about it. This man literally said, "Ah ha 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 ha," gripped my face like a fucking face hugger. Anyways, Rodney, you're up again. No, I'm just playing. I just wanted to scare you because you're not prepared at all. Okay, so no awards and noms. And anybody think there should be? Oh, that could be another funny thing. No, probably not. Definitely not on that. All right, now to the portion of our faves. Who was your favorite character in this movie? Mine's an obvious answer. Steven Seagal, Mason Storm. Gotta go Mason Storm.
I agree.
Sure.
I agree with you.
Definitely Mason Storm.
I have to say I like the.
He's always got to do it like the not like obvious character.
Like the janitor.
No,
you
the
don't
villain, the main villain. His little one-liners that he would have throughout the movie. I just found it like kind of
all the one-liners.
They were terrible, but it's like, dude, like
I love the
okay.
one-liners.
What was the villain's name? What was his name?
Oh, dude, I fucking forget. I just always think I'm gonna take you to the bank.
But yeah, him.
Fucking shit. Yeah, then the actor, you've seen him a bunch of times, and little things. He's not too bad. That's one thing I do think that separated Van Damme from Seagal that made Van Damme a little more enjoyable too is like I don't think Seagal's villains stand out that often. This guy wasn't terrible or anything. He wasn't too bad. But yeah, pretty solid. What about favorite fight scene?
The one at the alcohol store when it's getting robbed. Seagal just fucks up four guys.
Yeah.
I love that one.
For me, it's the end when he busts in and gets revenge. I won't go too deep into that because we literally have a segment called Did the Ending Deliver? Yeah, I always end up saying it's the end fight because usually it is in these movies. Yeah, I loved how he went up in there and fucked shit up.
That's mine.
Bro,
mine too.
When he's getting shot Like him
That's the
fighting
fight
after
scene?
he gets shot
Yeah.
like 400 times in the
No.
fucking body by shotguns.
Dude, it's crazy.
He's still fucking fight. Dude, the guys, their faces are like, oh shit. But
I think I just have that in my additional points, so I'll just dive into a little bit of that now since we're already talking about it. No need to even add on to it even more. But that scene, dude, is fucking powerful and dark as fuck. Like the way they do it, and they're just ruthless. And the acting, shockingly to me, I don't think Seagal's a great actor by any means, but I think he was really good in that scene.
I will actually agree with you on
The
that.
way he's shot, and the wife's like, no, and she's like screaming for him, and she's about to get blown away, and he's just like, no, stop, and he's like fighting to get back, and he's
Pure
screaming.
adrenaline at
Like,
this
yeah,
point.
like it's like I believe him like a motherfucker in this scene when he's getting blown back and he's like fighting forward. I'm like, damn, dude, like Seagal murders that. That's like honestly like his best performance. I will come out and say is in that moment. Like nobody could have sold that the way he did. I mean, I'm sure maybe there's like other great actors, but like I wouldn't necessarily put anybody over him, which is crazy to say because as an actor, I would
He's
do
terrible.
that 110%. But something about his delivery on that, it was so powerful, and the wife was fucking great in that too. But yeah, and then fight scene. So we all said that. I was like Tyler, yeah, he definitely did. And then favorite moment for me, which that might even been your favorite moment.
Yeah, for me, I'll go on and say for me that moment, dude, whenever his eyes opened wide after they fucking shot, he's like realizing what's going on and what he has to do.
Just putting the pieces
Dude,
together.
yeah, that
just
shit.
trying to fight through, and you're just getting blown back, and then having your wife next to you screaming your name, dude.
As
There's
much as I
nothing you can
hate
do.
that he survived that, because dude, 5 shotgun shots to the chest, to the body, dude, you're dead no matter
Which
what.
I'm ready to hear this because I do want to hear more on that because for this movie again, it's the name of the movie is Hard to Kill.
Hard to kill.
And it's that, action they're almost like superhero type genre. I don't know why that would bother you given what it is. Like it's not necessarily supposed to be realistic.
We'll get into that. I'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favorite moment though.
Did you have a favorite moment?
The end, dude. The end. Whenever I don't want to say it yet.
Yeah, we'll get to more of that. For me, it is actually that opening scene. I love in particular moment when Seagal gets on all fours. When he's talking to one guy and he's just like, "Oh, you want to come?" He's like, "Oh, you got a little knife." He's like, "Oh, what is this? Too big for you? I throw it away." And he's like, "You want me to get on my knees?" He's like, "Here, I'll get on my knees. No problem, right? Come get some."
Oh yeah.
And the guy just he comes at him and just makes him a bitch immediately. Like Seagal is so underrated in that regard because everybody just thinks he's a pile of shit now. Like back in like the early 90s, he had this like charisma and badass to him. Like he wasn't the best actor, but he was very believable. Like you were like, oh dude, this dude's fucking nasty.
Well,
like,
see,
he will
that's
fucking ruin you.
That's one thing I will give Seagal over like Van Damme. Well, in particular Van Damme, is with Van Damme you can tell like these kicks are like a little bit played,
Yeah.
But with Seagal, there was some times he hit people in this movie, in particular when he goes up and puts his foot behind the dude's foot and he pushes him with his arm, like clotheslines him.
Yeah.
Dude, I felt it. I was,
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
damn, that was a hard hit. It was like watching Tony Yaw, like something like he would do.
He loves doing that, like pulls you into it and just chops you down. That's what's so cool about like his fighting style too, is like he's a keto, which is like, duck out of the way, but he had the brilliant idea, like even though it goes against the martial arts, that's not great for the movies. So let me like tweak little things, add in like that short kick he does or that clothesline, and let me end every fight scene just like with a brutal break or like a nasty, like he don't give a fuck. He'll literally end you with his hands type shit, which made it more intense, and it makes the movies all the more better that he made that creative choice. But yeah.
Yeah, no boobs.
No boob.
Close though. Close.
Point.
The movie takes place in Los Angeles, but it was filmed in Malibu, Beverly Hills, and LA. So, I mean, of course, basically the standard answer.
Oh yeah, good shit. Best unimportant scene. I got one in this that cracks me up. Like it makes me roll every time, and y'all probably didn't think anything of it.
Let me
But
see.
I love it. Do you all have an unimportant scene at all that was like, for some reason this worked for me, even though it doesn't really carry weight in the movie?
I would actually say, which this scene I feel like should have carried weight but didn't, is when the black detective on his side gets killed. It's like after that, it's like you never hear, like, there's no sympathy for him or anything like that. There's like the character's forgotten after that. I think he should have been at least an integral part going on a little bit further after, like, if Steven Seagal comes alive and finds out he's dead and all that, like, it's, I don't know, I just feel like that scene hit.
And maybe when the one dude came in that he was friends with, but like initially I feel like it really couldn't, because he was in the coma, and then he was still, like, from the moment he woke up, like, he's like, no time to even think or ask.
Right, but he was still in the time before the coma, so you think that first person you think of is the guy that he's given all this info to, you know?
Oh yeah, the guy. What do you mean before the coma?
Huh?
You talking
Like
about?
when he woke up from the coma, he still thought he was back in the time right before the coma. He thought it was only been like a couple hours. Or,
Oh yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
what I mean is like there was no time to even like think about that. And if anything, he's probably thinking of his kid and wife first for sure,
Right.
and then he's immediately thrust into action. Like maybe they could have touched on more like later on, but I feel like it would have made less sense if it wasn't the fact that like there was more pressing matters with like his direct family going on, and that's what they really wanted to focus on more than anything. But I can feel that for sure. Still though, for me, best unimportant scene. This shit cracks me the fuck up. Steven Seagal trying to leave the hospital cracks me the fuck up. He wakes up and he's like half awake, like, and he talks to the nurse, and he's just like, "You gotta listen to me. I'm a cop. They got me on the news. They're gonna come here and kill me. You've got to get me out of here." And the nurse is like, "You're my cutest patient, but you're not my only patient. I gotta go." And he's like, "What are you doing?" And then the next guy comes in. He's like, "Hey, I'm here for your massage, hon, or son, or some shit." And he's just like, "Get the fuck out of here." Like he's just like, you're coming at me with this now. And then it cuts away and it cuts to another scene, and he's like on his stomach getting a massage, and all he wants to do is run away. And he's literally like, I appreciate the massage, but you're not understanding. We've got to get out of here. It's like he just watching this guy, like all he wants to do is get up and run away. And he's telling these people, they're just one by one walking away. And it's just, it keeps lingering, like just watching him want to leave. And I don't know why. Something about the delivery and everything cracks me the fuck up that he's just stuck there. I think that for sure is dope, dude. And then the whole escape from the hospital, I actually really enjoyed. And that's something with this movie that really stands out to me. And I don't know if it was the best choice for like y'all's first movie in hindsight, because there is something like, if you watch this movie and you haven't watched a lot of Seagal before and you're coming in with a fresh take, you're watching it. I think watching him rehabilitate's cool, but Seagal works the best when he's in full-on kick-ass mode, like the whole movie. But at the same time, if you watch all those other movies and you kind of watch them in sequence, this is where this movie stands out, because Seagal is always the guy that can't even get touched. Watching him, you know, being like, he's like fragile for a change. Like he's in a vulnerable position. You never see this from Seagal in any other movie. So when you're watching it amongst the other movies, it's refreshing. When you're watching it as its own movie, you're like, I kind of just wish Seagal was in kick-ass mode the whole time. So it's something I thought of personally. But Rodney,
So
dumbest or cringiest moment?
I'm gonna start with cringiest because we'll talk about more in length about dumbest. But the cringiest moment for me was his, I guess you call it, suit up scene where he is practicing his Aikido in that little dojo or whatnot. Dude, when he's doing his
that crash
shit, I'm like, oh my god, this is so bad. Like, it's so hard to watch.
It looks so horrible.
It does. I'm just like, oh my god, and he thinks that he.
But the fucked up thing is he is legit. Like,
yeah, he's legit.
and if you watch him, there's other things too. Did I write this down at one point? I don't think I did. I was thinking about maybe saving this for another movie, like his first movie. But the funniest thing with Seagal is his run is horrible.
Oh my god.
He runs like this, like his arms are flat out. Like Van Damme's actually got a great impression of him. He's like Steven Seagal, and he's just like, he runs like, and it's like perfect. It's funny as hell watching him like act this out. But the thing is like, just that. I think his natural movements are just kind of like almost weird, unless he's in like the actual fight. Like if he's just by himself, I think that kind of played into that. That's just who like Seagal is. But that's also a part of the
stiff as a board looking.
yeah. But that's also like a part of his charm though, because you watch him and you're like, what is that? And then you see it performed on people and you're like, oh, that's what that is. It actually kind of adds something to his character. And I think maybe you could even potentially agree if you watch more of these movies. You're like, okay, I see how that could work, because you're watching them just training and you're like, what the fuck is, and then you see him fight over time. When you watch multiple movies, you're like, that's just kind of who Seagal is. And that's kind of in a weird way why it does work, because you're like, this guy, like, I'm not taking him serious, but then you see him, you're like, good God, this is downright serious. He might crush me and kill me right here. So I don't know. That's more the way I look at it. I don't think I have a dumbest or cringiest moment, honestly. I mean, there's definitely ones here. It's these fucking 80s, 90s action movies. They're going to be there. But I always love those moments in these particular movies for some reason. They just work more than any other place in these kind of movies for some reason.
As far as like dumbest is concerned,
oh yeah, you gotta do the dumbest.
the fact that the minute I found out he survived, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah, but it's like, you think about it, it's like 5 shots, and those were like 12 gauge shotguns too. Those weren't like little petty ass.
Yeah.
Those were, and he got hit like 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, oh, dude, like you can't. I don't care if you're Punisher, like you're not gonna survive 5. And they were close range too.
Oh no, it's stupid, but that's the plot of the movie, man.
You know, I
Hard
just couldn't.
to kill.
And you were talking about how it's like maybe a little bit of a superhero aspect to it, whereas I'm like, no, they portray him as like just that dumbass detective that gets too close to cases.
Not in that way, this character. I just mean these overall characters. That's like the whole Van Damme, Seagal,
Unbeatable kind of.
Yeah, Stallone,
Mary Sue,
Schwarzenegger. They were the superheroes without the capes. Okay. So there was certain movies where like you'd watch that and be completely believable, just because you're like, this is hard to kill. This is Steven Seagal. The whole movie's supposed to be like...
They just went above and beyond with it. They just...
and it made the scene dope.
Let's put 4 12-gauge shotguns in the room. Let them get hit.
If they would have hit him with like the pistol and he would have been blown back the way he was, it wouldn't have been near as intense. But yeah, I mean that there's a point there, but it's a matter of like if you can look at it a certain way, I guess. But yeah, Tyler, you got goofs?
Yeah, dude, there's not that many good ones at all. They're all kind of very repetitive. Mason's jeans change from black to blue as he stands up at the cemetery. Crazy.
No fucking way.
Hey, if you don't believe that, maybe you'll believe this. Mason's trousers change from black to white when he leaves his house and gets into his Jeep. Jeez. Like, could
Even
they not?
He was like,
could they not get his pants right?
I guess not.
Like, Jesus.
Maybe he's just like, wardrobe change.
Yeah,
I want blue.
I want black.
Whatever you want, Mr. Seagal.
That work within the scene. Yes, it does.
Let's see here. Black padded mats for the actors and stuntmen to fall on are arranged on the floor at the convenience store when Mason Storm stops in to get champagne, so you could actually see like the padded floors.
Yeah, you kind of could, and like I thought that, but at the same time, I was like, that's kind of passable and a weird. Like I feel like sometimes you'll have like mats over shit, and maybe that's what they were thinking. But yeah, that one's not as big to me. But I mean, you can tell like that's exactly what that is, but it's not like flat out like they just laid a mat out in here. Like maybe that's just they have a mat in that section, just like when you step on like a rug or something. Like there's just a mat there for some reason.
That's all the goofs I have.
Oh, nice.
They're not that great on this one.
No.
It's crazy. I thought there'd be a lot, but there really isn't.
Yeah, there's one scene in particular is a goof where Steven Seagal did not Sharpie in the front of his hair all the way. That's not true. But there's a moment where I'm like, that Sharpie he's holding right now is exactly, he just drew on all of that a second ago. Yeah, Seagal always had to have had that. If you look close to like when he has like his hair down, and it's like long, and then like this front part is short, and it looks like just Sharpie. Yeah, deleted scenes. This is another crappy one because I don't have deleted scenes here. I have it on DVD, but it literally like the special features on like this old of a DVD was like, do you want to watch the trailer? All right, that's all we got for you.
Deleted scene where he died?
Oh, yeah.
That'd have made the movie better.
Oh, fuck
Jeez,
that. It'd
dude.
been hard to kill, and then he dies, so he's not hard to kill at all. And then we don't have Seagal for the rest of the movie. This is the alternative you're asking for here, Rodney. I'm sorry. Your reasoning sucks for this particular movie. You're being too nitpicky for what's at hand here, man. Yeah. Did the ending deliver?
Yeah, absolutely. That's like one of the best scenes.
Oh, for sure. When he goes up in there, that whole ending is dope as fuck to me. And there is some stupid one-liners in here, but again, that's par for the course of this. Like you were talking about, and I was talking about, just like, I'm going to take you to the bank. And he
Well, I don't mind one-liners.
Yeah, he
like
looks
that.
over at the camera. He's like, the blood bank. I fucking love that shit.
Like,
it's so dumb.
Like you
but
have
it's so
the
great.
what is it that Cobra or which poster is Stallone poster?
Yeah,
dude?
Cobra.
That quote, like I love. It's so corny and cheesy,
Oh,
but I
dude.
love that quote, dude.
No, the best
I
shit.
can't even remember. I can't see what it says.
It's
but
like
I like.
disease.
Oh, and I'm the cure.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the disease and I'm the cure. Yeah, dude, I
it's
just think
fucking
that's so
great.
badass.
Well, that's like the one I always say, dude. Like, at the very beginning, he's in that shopping mart trying to save that girl, and the guy's like, "I'll blow this whole thing up," but he's literally like, "I don't shop here." It's like, yes, I fucking love it, dude. Like,
That's a really good one. Line.
yeah, like it's so fucking awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, the blood bank one, it's great in that same way. Like, it's dumb, but it's awesome for what it is. It just works for these movies. This is like part of what's amazing about these movies. But if you try this in like a movie nowadays, it's like, God, cringe galore. It just worked for that time. The ending in general, dude, like every fucking thing that went on at the end, I love like his like performance too. It's not really performance like he's doing some Oscar shit, but again, it's the charisma of Seagal. I love when he like twists that one dude's arm over and he remembers where he like twisted it from like earlier in the movie when he like balled it
Like
up when he was
broke
back
his
getting
hand or
shot,
whatever.
and he just looks at it and looks up at him. He's like, "I remember you," before he kills him. But like the way he says, "Hey, I remember you," I love that shit.
It's like it seemed like the happiest he had been the
Yeah.
whole movie.
Yeah, it was so dope the way he said that. And then I can't remember the bad guy's name. Fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
I
dude.
wish I
Like,
would have wrote it.
Hold on.
Yeah, dude, you've got to look this up because there's a moment where he's looking for the bad guy. That's after he destroyed the dudes playing pool. And I always love, like, he
it
turns it into a weapon, and he fucking stabs dude in the neck. Like, so dope the way he changes anything.
I do like the brutality of Steven Seagal too.
Oh, yeah.
in some of his shit.
It's always a punchline, man.
William Sadler.
Yeah, but
Senator Vernon Trent.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. And then after
Did you just say Trenton?
Yeah, he said Trent.
Okay.
But yeah, it was Vernon. But that's what I was gonna say. Like when he's looking for him after he finally kills the last guy, before Vernon, he's just like, "Oh, Vernon!" Like the way he's saying that, he's like, "Vernon, where are you, Vernon?" Like the way he's saying that, like you can tell he's just having fun with it. And that again, that's the charisma he has. He kills that whole last scene with the way he just delivers shit. And then of course you get where he meets Vernon, and he's like, "I want to kill you," and he's like, "But as much as I want to, I can't." The way he's just casually talking to him and holding a gun. And I love the way, like, when Vernon pops out of the closet, he grabs the gun and he just, boom, like, he hits it into his, like, mouth in one fell swoop. Like, it wasn't like he, like, fucking, like, was, like, open up wide. He literally went, and then went, like, and dude had, like, blood around his lips. And then by the end of it, he, like, tried to break out of it, and he grabs the gun, and he shoots it, like, his robe, and he's like, "Oh, I guess it's that short, huh?" Or whatever the fuck. Like, that was all fucking dope. Like, I loved it. I kind of wanted him to kill the guy, but, like, I get it. And
It would have made the ending better if he killed him.
That's what I was thinking. But at the same time, like, everything he did to him, from, like, the perfect, like, boom, like, into the mouth with the gun, and the way he, like, tortured him and, like, played with his emotions.
If he hadn't have given him that kind of beatdown, that kind of, like, I guess, moral downer to make him think he wasn't as good as he really is, then I think the ending would have been awful.
Yeah.
But the fact that he did there is some redemption in the fact that, you know, dude knew he was beat. So, like, that's okay, but ultimately, if he'd have just been able to kill him, it would have
like,
made...
I'm always waiting for in this movie, even though I've seen it 100 times, like, Vernon's going to, like, do, like, what Gary Busey did in Lethal Weapon. Like, they're like, all right, take him away. And there's going to be that moment where Vernon, like, breaks away and he goes at Seagal, and Seagal just, like, ends him. And he might even be like, what? And the cops are like looking at him like crazy, like self-defense, like something like that. But it works because of the way he belittled him and just treated him. It was just badass, for sure. Yeah, ending for me definitely delivered.
All right.
Well, scores wise,
we got 3-question trivia.
After the trivia.
Kelly Lee Brock had pretty much retired from acting at the time and only did the movie as a favor to her husband.
Yes.
In retrospect, she calls the movie hard to watch or hard to believe.
Just because she hates Seagal.
Yeah, they were married at the time of this.
Yeah, she fucking can't stand him now. So, of course, she jumps on the, shit on Seagal wagon. So easy to do. I fucking hate it, man. I really do. Because it's not that he don't, deserve it to some degree, especially. But the way everyone just automatically piles on him and acts like these movies just weren't shit. Like, they're just like his bargain bin shit. That's all he's ever been. Dude was on top at this time.
Steven Seagal, iconic ponytail, made its first appearance in this movie.
Above the Law, he didn't have that. His hair was just kind of combed back, and this was his second movie.
Craig R. Baxley. I don't know if that was an ear. He was offered to direct it by Steven Seagal, but he passed because he didn't want to work with Seagal.
Does not surprise me. This is another reason why everybody gangs up on him, and a lot of it rightfully so. I just hate that there's zero good at all. Let me be the 1% if I gotta be.
Yeah, that's all I got for trivia. Now you're up, Rodney.
All right, so the
Not
scores. We'll start with IMDb with a solid 5.8.
Same as Rubber.
So better, more critics liked it than disliked it.
And I actually think this is the type of score that is down a little bit. I think around the time IMDb came on, even Van Damme was he kind of had redemption where Seagal didn't. People hated Seagal and Van Damme, and they became just shit shows. Everybody coming in late adding reviews. Most people are like shit to a lot of their movies. I'm not saying it's flawless, but I think there's definitely a bit of that with them.
As far as Rotten Tomatoes is concerned, nobody liked it. 36% critic and a 47 audience.
Nice.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's
But then again, the critics, there's only 14 of the critic reviews.
You can't even really count that.
No, but that's about par for the course, dude. Unless it's these franchises that these guys did. A lot of Stallone movies and Schwarzenegger movies even get shit like that on their solo one-offs and shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, a lot of critics don't understand. And again, I think people just hate Seagal, so there's a lot of that.
What do you rate it, Rodney?
I give this a surprising 5. I give it a 5 because I like it and I don't like it. But
surprising 5 though.
Yeah, it's surprising because I hate Seagal and I hate all of his movies. Last I remember, this one I don't hate. I like it and I don't like it.
Yeah.
But there was redeemable factors of it, but there was also why am I watching this movie? You know, so. Moments. But I am surprised that I would give it, a 5 because I thought I was coming in here with a 2 at best.
I knew you wouldn't. Dude, and that's the thing. Is there any part of you after watching this that's maybe I do need to watch a few of his other films? Or
I do want to check out what's that other
Under
one?
Siege.
No,
with Tommy Lee Jones and
not
Gary
the Under
Busey.
Siege.
Mark for Death.
Mark for Death.
I talk that up all the time.
Because you keep talking it up, so I want to.
I love that movie.
You talked up The Bouncer, and I ended up really liking that.
Dude, I talk up all of Seagal's first 7 movies that were great, and then he fell off.
Yeah, this one.
I mean, yeah, even if you don't think it's good for this time, this was a great movie at that time. I remember being in the fucking 90s, early on, anybody I talked to were like, dude, Seagal's a bad motherfucker. That shit changed later on, for sure. What about you, Tyler?
Okay, I give it a 6.0. Yeah, I mean, the corniness of it just made me laugh, and then the fight scenes were something I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
This was entertaining I liked it more than I didn't like it. So 6 seems like a solid rating for my first Seagal.
Venture, at least like being older.
At
and
least that I
remember.
I'm sure I've watched them all as kids, but just don't remember them.
Yeah, for me, this goes to that era where Seagal, Van Damme, Stallone, Schwarzenegger were my heroes.
Yeah.
I got a soft spot for this movie. Again, I think it's better when you watch his other movies. The vulnerability factor actually raises it a lot in comparison when you watch his other movies. When you don't watch his other movies, you just watch this, it doesn't stand out as much because he was so down at points in this movie, and you just don't see that from Seagal. I think the fight scenes are really good when they're there. There's a stretch when, of course, when he's like, not able to do shit where you don't really see any. And I think Seagal's charisma is on full display here. Like, you can see why he was a face. There's very few people that have that. It's not just the acting. It hardly ever even has anything to do with the acting. It's just the delivery and, like, the believability, like, oh, shit, this guy will fuck you up. And that's saying a lot with how he runs and how he does this shit that you see, like, Mac do, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, like, I absolutely love this movie. This is, like, I pretty much love every Seagal movie through his, like, first 7 movies, and this is definitely a quality movie from that time, if this is your niche and that's what you like. Hard to Kill is hard to pass up for me. It's an 8.5 out of 10. I love this movie.
It's actually lower than I thought you'd give it.
Yeah, me too.
No, I mean, there's, like, when I was younger, this was, like, fucking easily a 9 something, like, but now it's still fucking, I mean, it's really, really fucking great to me.
I think it's crazy how movies are like that, where you can watch them as a kid and remember, like, dude, this greatest movie ever.
Exactly.
And then you grow up and you're like, oh my God, this is awful.
That's what happened to me with the movie Commando.
Really?
Yeah.
That
I was
happened.
like, this is so dope.
The most recent for me was me and Jamie, dude, because we both loved Neverending Story.
Yeah.
And dude, rewatching it, we were like,
crazy.
oh, like we actually ended up turning it off.
That is bizarre to me. It still got such a sad scene at the end too.
The train.
Oh my god, what a band! And then Tyler gets up again before the additional points. He strikes out in this all the time.
I always forget this.
I always wait. I wait till you get up.
I'm just gonna be like, I can't. I need to stand.
All right, sit down, dude. We got one more thing.
We're good.
I'm just kidding. I have nothing else. Just kidding again. There is only one thing that we didn't cover. I actually really loved Seagal's, like, like his, like, love for, like, the Oscars in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so strong with the Oscars.
It's like, you're not watching the Academy Awards.
Yeah, but, like, even when he's sitting there, like, I love, like, just the way he's talking, like, when he's like, what are we doing here? He's trying to film it, and he's like, come on, the Oscars are on. And then as soon as he goes to the gas station, he's just like, you ain't got the Oscars? He's like, I get enough shit in here. I see horror and all that.
Yeah.
Literally, like, fucking 3 minutes later, he saw horror that befell upon him.
And one guy says, it looks like you should have been the one to win the Oscar tonight. And I'm like, God, dude.
I oddly also, like, for whatever reason, I like when Seagal, like, he just immediately knows because he's like a cop and senses these things. You could say he's just judging people by how they look, but as soon as he came in there, he's like, you might want to call the cops. Like, he just knows immediately, like, these people aren't up to no good. Yeah, Seagal's a G, dude. I don't care what anybody says. Might not be the best human being. He might have made the worst shit shows and movies pretty much after his prime, but in his prime, I don't care. He was a badass. He really was, and he's got the badass persona down pat. That's all I can say for him. Love you guys. Hard to Kill.